It has been over 14 months of war in Gaza, and civilians in the enclave are continuing to pay the price. Israeli forces have issued new evacuation orders in central Gaza. As per latest reports, Biden administration has increased its efforts for Gaza's ceasefire in hopes of attaining a truce before Donald Trump's inauguration next year. In our next report, we ask, are Hamas and Israel inching closer to a ceasefire deal?
The only thing I wish for is that the bloodshed and the fire of this war to come to an end, because the people have sacrificed enough. On top of that, there's hunger and a year and a half without electricity, with people dying from severe cold in the tents.
Palestinians in Gaza are facing harsh winters for a second time. For over 14 months, world leaders have been aiming to achieve a ceasefire in the enclave, which has claimed over 45,000 lives. This week, Israeli military issued yet another evacuation order for the enclave. Dozens of Palestinians have lost their lives in overnight Israeli strikes on the Daraj neighborhood in Gaza City.
We were surprised to find that most of the martyrs were charred bodies, and the bodies were of children and women. Civil defense crews are still searching for missing persons under the targeted house.
Israel says Hamas took over 250 hostages last year, and out of 250, 100 hostages are still held captive. There is no certainty whether all 100 civilians are still alive. In recent days, Biden administration has increased its efforts to secure the hostage deal. The CIA chief has reportedly made a trip to Doha to meet the Qatari Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman Al Thani to bridge the gap between Israel and Hamas. Biden government wants to close the deal before Donald Trump's inauguration next year, while Washington is looking at Gaza's future. U.S. National Security Advisor emphasized the need for a political solution to the Israel-Hamas war.
How do you convert that into a long-term strategic endgame where Israel is secure on a durable basis and where Gaza emerges where Hamas is not in power? And the best way to do that, in judgment, is to have a political solution, a political track alongside the military track, and that starts with the basic concept of essentially trying to make sure that the ordinary civilians of Gaza, the innocent people of Gaza, are not being put in a position where things are so bad that they all become radicalized and you have nothing to work with going forward.
Along with talks in Doha, meetings are also being held in Cairo. Israel says Hamas is showing flexibility in hostage talks, but nothing is certain for now. Hamas says a deal is possible if Israel stops setting new conditions. Reports quoting an Arab diplomat say that mediators continue to make progress towards a ceasefire and hostage release deal between Israel and Hamas, but will likely need weeks, not just days, in order to finalize an agreement. There have been repeated rounds of talks over the past year, all of which have ended in failure, with Israel insisting on retaining a military presence in Gaza and Hamas refusing to release hostages until the troops are pulled out.
For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.